Delaware Wrestling is on the air from Waterloo West High School in Waterloo, Iowa. The West Delaware Hawks taking on Waterloo West and Waverly Shell Rock here tonight. Good evening, everybody. Along with Roger Reed, this is Jamie Maskey. As we get you set for another fun and exciting season of high school wrestling here on KMCH. The winter sports season is underway, and we will have action for you here coming up. Scheduled to start at 5:30. We'll have the national anthem coming up here in just a little bit, and then we'll get you on your way with our first duel, which will be West Delaware versus Waterloo West, and then we'll have a short break to Waverly Shell Rock versus West Delaware. Then we'll take a break and give Waterloo West a chance to warm up before we get you on your way with that second duel here tonight between the Hawks and the Bulldogs. Tell you what, Roger Reed,
we're ready here for high school wrestling, and it's going to be a good season, and a good season coming up here. Welcome in once again to you, as it's that time of year again. The football cleats are put away and the wrestling shoes have been brought out.
That's exactly right, Jamie. It's been a very, very short 9 months. Seems like we were just leaving the well and watching some great state meet wrestling action last February, and here it is, the 3rd of December, and the 2013 season is underway, and time flies, and we've got an outstanding duel tonight to open up with. Waverly Shell Rock and the West Delaware Hawks going to go at it here in just a few minutes, but Jamie, the first rankings came out in the predicament. Everybody likes to look at those and spy those, and again, they will change a lot during the course of the year. But we've got Waverly Shell Rock coming in here as the number 3 ranked Class 3A team with 7 ranked wrestlers, and West Delaware is coming in here as the number 5 ranked Class 2A team, and they've got 3 highly ranked wrestlers. But this is always one of those duels where you can throw out the rankings, because this has turned into a really, really good rivalry between West Delaware and Waverly, and it always opens up the season, and they have seen each other as the season progresses at the 5 Seasons Extravaganza coming up here in a couple weeks, and also at the Battle of Waterloo. So this has turned into a good rivalry between 2 outstanding programs.
Well, it certainly has, and it should be no different here tonight as the Hawks and Warhawks will go at it. We talked about those 3 ranked wrestlers from West Delaware. As no surprise here, the defending state champ in Class 2A, Patrick Woods from West Delaware, ranked number 1 in the state at 113 pounds coming into this season. So Patrick, after that state championship last year, looking forward to try to repeat this year and get back on that number 1 podium, top step of the podium at the Wells Fargo Arena. At 126 pounds, Sam Phillips from West Delaware ranked number 8 in the state in Class 2A at 126 pounds. And at 152 pounds, Jake Voss from West Delaware, the senior, ranked number 1 in Class 2A at 152 pounds. The other 2 teams tonight are both in Class 3A. Roger mentioned Waverly Shell Rock ranked number 3 in the state in Class 3A. They have a wrestler ranked at 106 pounds, Austin Yant. He's a freshman ranked for Waverly Shell Rock. Going down the list here for the Go Hawks, as up their next ranked wrestler is at 145 pounds. Bryce Steyert, the junior, he's ranked number 2 at 145 pounds for the Go Hawks. And then we go up to 160 pounds. Spencer Deerfield is number 1 in the state in Class 3A at 160 pounds. And at 170 pounds, Corey Abernathy, he's ranked number 4. He's a senior at 170 pounds. And then also tonight we're going to see Marcus Harrington. Saw him a couple times last year wrestling Jason Goebel. He's ranked number 1 in the state at 195 pounds. Isaac Miller from Waverly Shell Rock, he's ranked number 2 at 182 pounds from Waverly Shell Rock. Marcus Harrington, of course, from Waterloo West. And also for Waterloo West, Kyler Matthews is ranked at 220 pounds, ranked number 2 in the state. He's a senior. And Thomas Foy from Waverly Shell Rock, he's ranked number 6 at 195 also. So that should be a good matchup with Foy and Harrington in that last duel of the night here. And moving up to heavyweight, I thought Caleb Stack might be ranked. Oh, he is at 220. At 220 pounds, Caleb Stack ranked number 4. So 2 good matchups right there between the Wall Hawks and the Go Hawks. But I tell you what, it'll be the Hawks and the Go Hawks to start this thing off here in just a little bit. Not sure what we're waiting for here.
Well, they were trying to, when I was down at the head table trying to find somebody that could help us get hooked up, they were trying to locate some people that knew how to keep score, and they were trying to find their national anthem singer. So I'm not sure if originally this was supposed to start at 6 and they bumped it up to 5:30. So I hope our national anthem singer was not on the 6 o'clock time schedule. If he or she was or is, we're going to have to wait a while. But I think he said they're going to go ahead and go without it if they don't show up.
Well, absolutely. So we're going to get you underway. We'll take a short break and come back with the start of this duel as the West Delaware Hawks will take on the Waverly Shell Rock Go Hawks in just a little bit. You're listening to West Delaware High School Wrestling on Mix 94.7 KMCH. And welcome back in here to Waterloo West High School as we get you set for high school wrestling coming up here for you tonight as the West Delaware Hawks will take on the Waterloo West Go Hawks. Jamie Vasky, Roger Reed along with you here as the Hawks get set, ranked number 5 in the state in Class 2A. That's for tournament rankings. And their head coach is Jeff Voss, the winningest coach in West Delaware wrestling history. 315-64-1 is his dual meet record. He has led the Hawks to 14 dual titles in his tenure here at West Delaware. Started here in 1995 for the Hawks. So he's closing in on that 20-year mark for his time here at West Delaware. 9 team titles. He has led the WAMAC team titles. He's had 56 WAMAC champs, 94 state qualifiers, and 54 state place winners. So a pretty impressive record here for the West Delaware Hawks and Coach Voss. For the Waverly Shell Rock Go Hawks, their head coach, I think third-year head coach, is Eric Whitcomb, and his assistant is Josh Meyer as the Hawks get set. And yeah, I tell you what, the Hawks made history, a lot of history last year, as people remember, and that state championship winning team broke a lot of team records last year. Most dual meet wins, most wins, individual wins, most pins, most falls and tech falls, record dual meet win-loss and season win-loss record. They shattered a lot of records last season, and an outstanding season that was. Dean Brokehammer with the most wins, Jason Goebel with the most pins and pins in a row, and just some great things. Adam Reth became the winningest wrestler in West Delaware history as he finished his career off here. He finished his West Delaware career with quite an impressive record as he leaves as the winningest record. 158 wins, 23 losses for Adam Reth. But I tell you what, his record could be in jeopardy already this year as Jake Voss comes in here with a record of 121-24. So 37 wins away is very doable for Jake Voss. So a lot of good things. Some people wonder how the Hawks can come back after last year, Roger, but I tell you what, they got a lot of kids with a lot of varsity experience last year.
Well, and that's the key right now. You've got some unknowns in the lineup, but they've wrestled a lot of matches, and the quality of wrestlers in the West Delaware wrestling room last year did nothing but help those kids. They weren't necessarily in the varsity lineup, but they got a lot of matches on the JV level, and now it's their time this year to step on the mat and show how that training has come about. But Jamie, all good head coaches have good supporting casts, and there's not a better a bunch of assistant coaches than what Coach Voss has on his staff with Coach Phillips and Coach Lenz and Coach Litterer and Coach Payton down there. And it all starts with a good supporting cast, and they work very, very well together. And you can't be that successful as a head coach without a good supporting cast. So it's just a great program, and this is going to be an interesting year. We talked about on the way down. This might be a work in progress till they get kids established where they want to be at, what weight they're going to be, and we're going to have a forfeit right there as Patrick Woods.
Oh. They're not going to forfeit, maybe. The Go Hawks are saying, hold up a second.
We're going to start at 13, and they have an open weight at 113.
Apparently they are going to wrestle somebody. They're going to send someone out. Patrick Woods coming out supporting the face mask tonight. Not sure if he took one in the nose or what the deal is. So we'll see who's going to come out here for Waverly.
This is going to be
Shellrock.
Derek Wyant. And we don't know. We've got Austin Yan is their 6-pounder. They have nobody at 113. They can't move anybody down. It looks like Derek Wyant would be the person that they're going to move up to wrestle Patrick Woods here. And they did not make that announcement.
Yep.
Derek Wyant. So Derek Wyant, he's a sophomore, and he's listed as their number 2 106-pounder behind Austin Yant, who is ranked number 8 in Class 3A. So Woods out quickly on a nice snap down, Jamie, and he's going to lock up that drive cradle, and this thing might end in a hurry as he's got Wyatt on his back, and this could be a short fall. We're going to bend around to look at the clock. There's the fall right there in 13 seconds, Jamie. And that's what a state 13 seconds, and that's what your state champion does. You know, when you wrestle a 106-pound JV kid, you go out, snap his head down, you lock up that drive cradle, and you slap him on his back, and you score right there.
Absolutely. As we're going to move up to 120 pounds, coming out for the Hawks here is going to be Logan Riley. The Riley name very familiar here for West Delaware, as his brother Brett wrestling couple years ago for the Hawks. As Roger, you and I here tonight, I know it was said on the radio this morning Nate Lahr would be joining us. You were scheduled to be at a middle school meet tonight. You got off of that, and we appreciate Nate filling in as he's listening to us tonight from home. So we will catch up with Nate throughout the season. I know there's a couple dates I'm probably going to be out for, so we'll get him in here this year as well. So we've got Logan Riley here for the Hawks. It's supposed to be this is Logan Deerfield for Waverly Shellrock. He's a sophomore. As we'll move later at 160, you'll see a great matchup with Jake Voss and Spencer Deerfield. But right now it's Logan Riley and Logan Deerfield.
Well, we got Logan squared out there, and it's Logan Riley right now with the 2-on-1 Russian tie, and he's got Deerfield's head snapped down. He's going to pick up 2. That's a nice snap and spin, Jamie. Use that Russian tie. And then he went right to a nice collar tie and snapped Deerfield down to the mat, scooted around the backside, picked up 2, and now he's going to go to work on that inside wrist on the right side of Deerfield, and he's going to go right to work on that ball and chain. He's got the left arm, or the right arm of Deerfield threaded between his legs in that ball and chain, and now he's going to try to stack him up for some near fall points. And looking at the Waverly's lineup, Jamie, they're top loaded, so the Hawks have got to do a great job down here below scoring some big points. And right now, Riley is picking up some back points on the tilt. Not going to get the fall here, but he's going to pick up some back points. And got to be at least 2 there. No back points there, Jamie. Boy, now he's got a chicken wing. He's going to put Deerfield on his back. Could pick up a fall here, which would be better than those near fall points. Can't figure 4 the head anymore, but he's got a double chicken wing on Deerfield. And he's got to sit that inside hip down, Jamie. He's got his left hip up in the air. He's got to get that left hip down and arch his back just a little bit more, as Riley does. Again, that chicken wing is very tight. Our referee, Travis Pike, down there looking close for that fall. And again, Deerfield doing a nice job arching his back, keeping those shoulder blades up. And now Riley's going to readjust himself. That's a nice job. There's the fall right there. We'll spy the clock, Jamie. 147. 147 with the fall. Logan Riley puts the Hawks on the board again with 6. That puts the Hawks up 12-0 after 2, and you couldn't script a better way to start.
No, you really couldn't. And you mentioned Waverly Shellrock. You said they're top loaded at those upper weights is where they're really strong, starting at about 160 pounds with Deerfield. So the Hawks have got to get points early in these lower weights, getting ready to head up to the upper weights. So that's definitely a good start for the Hawks coming out here and getting 2 pins. Sam Phillips coming in here for the Hawks. He's ranked number 8 in the state in Class 2A. Got Zach Meyer wrestling on the JV mat right now. Can't tell. I believe Zach
is ahead 2-1. He got a first period takedown. We're in the 3rd period. And now we got Nathan Sands.
No, I believe it's Isaiah Kaler.
So Coach Whitcomb playing a little roulette with his lineup tonight, moving some kids around. Again, all the coaches sent their lineups in. There's a sweep single by Phillips to the left side, and he's got Kaler up in the air, and he's going to slap a half Nelson in on Kaler on the way down, and he's got Kaler on his back. Now he's going to scoop the arm, and he's got Kaler down, Jamie. This could be a very quick fall here. Phillips looking close. Could be a fall. Nice high bridge by Kaler. Phillips is going to reload that half Nelson, and again, he's got to get that head up. Kaler's doing a nice job arching off, and Phillips is going to reload that. He's around the head. Now he's got a double spur right there, and he's got to arch, Jamie, as Kaler's bridging back and forth. There's the fall right there, another first period fall. Let's spy the clock. 47 seconds. Sam Phillips showing why he's ranked number 8 early, and he's going to pick up the fall for the West Delaware Hawks, and that's going to be 18-0.
That's what the Hawks needed to do. You mentioned it. You got to get on the board while you can, and they've continued to do that as they lead it now 18-0. Over on that match, Zach Myers still leading 2-1. Or is he? I think he's green. I think he's trailing.
All right, Reds visitor.
Reds visitor?
Yeah.
And Zach Myers green.
No, Zach Myers red,
is
isn't he? I think he's red.
No, I can't. There's too many ankles down there. But you're right. It is 2-1. And Zach Myers down there leading 2-1. I'll just let you do it.
We're going to play I Spy with my little blue eye. All right, we're at weight class 132. And this looks like, let's see, I didn't hear
I didn't either.
Justin Ryer or Nathan Sands. I'm not sure if they moved Sands up to take on Chad Wickman. Connor Wickman. They don't have it right there. I think I put Chad on there, sorry. Connor Wickman. Seth Walker.
Justin Ryer.
No, Justin Ryer.
Yep.
Justin Ryer and Connor Wickman. That's a great match. I think Ryer's not ranked. But we saw them, Jamie, last year. We did the dual meet between Western Dubuque and Waverly in the regional duels. And we caught some of these Waverly Shell Rock wrestlers in that duel.
And that's the thing is we see Waverly Shell Rock right off the bat. And, lineups change from week 1 to when we saw them again in the regional duel against Western Dubuque. So you get to see how these kids have progressed like we did against the Bobcats last year. And I tell you what, Ryer was one of those kids we saw later in the season in that duel with West Delaware and Waverly Shell Rock and Western Dubuque. So, a good matchup here for Connor Wickman.
Exactly right. He did a tap and go, tried to shoot in on a double, but Ryer is very tall and lanky, so Wickman's very short and stocky, so he's going to have to cut a corner. He's going to have to find an angle, and a nice underhook by Ryer right now to the left side of Wickman. Wickman's got an overhook. There's a double takedown by Ryer, a hard whizzer by Wickman. No points yet. Nice down block by Wickman. He sat on his hip for just a minute. Now Wickman's going to lock up a cradle on Ryer, and he's going to find himself in trouble, and he has to bail out, and he's going to give up a 2-point takedown. That's going to be the first 2-point takedown for Waverly Shell Rock here in this dual meet. The Hawks are leading 18-0 after 3 quick first period falls, and the first period is going to be over. Connor Wickman down 2-0. That was a nice shot by Ryer, and he's going to defer. He's going to defer over to Wickman, and Wickman will choose down and try to keep this little run that the West Delaware Hawks have got going. 3 for 3 to start this dual meet. Zach Meyer did end up winning that match 2-1. The wrestling JV match is over there right now. Oh, now he's going to win it 4-2, 7-2. All right, Ryer on top of Wickman, hard chop, tight waist, head lever to the left side of Wickman, and Wickman's going to build his base. And now short sit by Wickman. He's got to clear that arm as Ryer's doing a nice job with the tight waist. There's a stand up by Wickman. Ryer drops in on a single, back trips Wickman back down to the mat. Wickman looking for a switch off the back trip. And Ryer doing a nice job keeping his weight off his knees, on his toes, and he's going to drive Wickman forward. Once again, Wickman has to cover up. Looking at the clock, we have 1:16 left to go, second period. Wickman flat out on his stomach. Ryer doing a nice job riding. He scoops an inside wrist on the left side, pulls it out to a bar, and it gets a little high with it. And Wickman almost had Ryer in a headlock. There's another head lever by Ryer. Wickman does a nice job backing over the head lever. And let's see if he can pop it out and score an escape here. Again, a hard, tight waist by Ryer. And Wickman once again posts with the right arm, gets his hips up, and Ryer has to let go of the head lever and takes an inside wrist on the left side of Wickman. 45 seconds left to go as Ryer takes a peek at the clock. Double inside wrist now by Ryer, and Wickman finds himself belly down, chest down, off the edge of the mat. Now an inside wrist again by Ryer. He's doing a great job running those inside wrists, and Connor Wickman's got to find a way to work that wrist out, roll that wrist out, get right back to his feet. Inside wrist now, half Nelson by Ryer. Inside wrist on the right, half Nelson on the left. He's going to try to dump Wickman to his back. 15 seconds left to go, and the score is still 2-1 in favor of Justin Ryer, and we're going to get a stalemate or a stall, and the referee's going to get a restart here. All right, Wickman will get set, and Ryer up on top, and that's got to be a caution right there on green. Yes, it is, as Ryer tried to start before the whistle, tried to anticipate the whistle just a little bit. And they did not start the clock, or they started the clock and did not stop the clock. So our other referees on the side there. There's a nice side roll attempt by Wickman with short time. And almost had Ryer on his hip. And that's going to do it for the second period. 2-0, and it's going to be Ryer's choice.
Well, it's going to be Ryer's choice. He's going to go down. So, this is an opportunity. Connor Wickman's either maybe a minute you try to turn him. If you can't get him turned, you got to cut him loose and go to work on your feet, because Ryer's shown so far at this point that he's pretty tough.
He is tough on top. He's got a great shot. He's tough on top, and Wickman's going to cut him loose. So that's 3-0. So a couple of quick takedowns here by Connor Wickman will get this thing tied up. And there's that fireman's carry that Wickman's got around the waist. Oh, he missed it, Jamie. It's cut across. He keeps the single, and now he's going to try to dump. Going to try to dump Ryer on his side. He's got to sit up hard with it.
Stalemate.
And he's caught on his back, and that's going to be a 2-point takedown by Ryer. As a Wickman tried to catch him in a roll, lost track of the arm, and Ryer stopped the motion, got the 2-point takedown. Now he's going to step over the ankle, and he's got Connor Wickman in a world of hurt right here. Maybe trying to set up a drive cradle. No back points yet. Wickman's going to try to hit a switch, get his hips out on a switch, but Ryer's got his legs tied up. He's got his left arm scooped with, Ryer's got Wickman's left arm scooped with his right arm, and now he's in between the legs, and now he's got a Turk on the left leg of Wickman, and Wickman's trapping that right arm of Ryer, and we might get a stalling call. And no, he got it out. Guy's got a Turk on Wickman, comes to a hard crossface. Wickman doing a great job keeping that chest down. Check our clock. 35 seconds left to go. And Ryer's trying to drive Wickman to his back. You don't want to give up a pin right here if you're Connor Wickman. Again, a nice Turk by Ryer. Now Wickman is on his back. He's not going to get pinned, but he's going to give up 3. And Ryer's trying to reload that Turk. Turk with his right leg, crossface with his left hand, and Wickman is on his back. 13 seconds left to go. Ryer trying to readjust that Turk. 7 seconds left to go. You don't want to give up a fall here. It's going to be a major decision. That's going to do it. It's going to be a 12-0. That's going to be a 3-point near fall. A 12-0 major decision for Justin Ryer over Connor Wickman. And Jamie, we knew that Ryer was tough, and he's very, very good on his feet. Very good mat wrestler. Let's take a short time. We'll take a short time out. Then you've got a comment. You listen to Hold by Hold action right here from West Waterloo on Eastern Iowa Sports Station, Mix 94.7 KMCH.
Back here in Waterloo, Iowa, the West Delaware Hawks and the Waverly Shell-Rock Go Hawks go at it here, along with in-studio producer Dennis Robertson, Jamie Vaskey, Roger Reed, back with you here as we move up to 138 pounds now as the West Delaware Hawks still lead this one 18-4 is our score after that major decision by Justin Ryer over Connor Wickman. And we move up to 138, Bo Vaskey, the senior for West Delaware, taking on Seth Walker, the sophomore from Waverly Shell-Rock.
Well, Jamie, this is a match where West Delaware's got to be favored here, and you're taking the senior against the sophomore. But again, Waverly Shell-Rock's got a lot of quality in their wrestling room also. So these young wrestlers get a lot of experience in the Waverly Shell-Rock. We're off the edge of the mat. That's a nice job by Bo Vaskey. got in on that double, split the legs of Walker, came out the backside, but they ended up off the mat. So that was a very, very nice reshot. Walker was in on a shot, and a nice counter by Vasky, then a reshot off the counter, and Vasky got in deep. Let's see if he can hit that shot again in the middle of the mat. Vasky in a staggered stance, right leg forward. Walker staggered stance, his right leg is forward also. So kind of similar builds here. Walker very tall, lanky. Bo Vasky also a tall, lanky 138-pounder. So kind of mirror images of each other right now. There's a long single shot by Vasky. He's in deep. Let's see if he can cut the corner. He's got the leg split of Walker, and he's going to dump Walker. Walker keeps a hold of the left leg of Vasky, and Vasky's in a hard crossface. Now they're going to flip-flop positions. Walker pops his head out to the side. Vasky's got to come to a hard crossface if he can. Nice counter by Vasky. He's controlling the ankle. Walker's going to sit. And he's going to try to change positions. This is just the position that Vasky was in. And if Vasky could not score out of it, and Walker's going to come out the back door and pick up a 2-point takedown. He's going to end up with a chicken wing on the left side of Bo Vasky. And Vasky now has to fight off that chicken wing. And the first period is going to be over. So that was right at the end of the period, Jimmy.
You know, you hate, we'll talk about that all season long, giving up those late period points like Bo Vasky did there. But I tell you what, the Hawks, just in the last couple matches, they've got to get back to work on their feet. You know, looking at back, Connor Wickman gives up 2 takedowns, and Bo Vasky gives up 1 here, but they're not getting any right now. The first 3 matches, the Hawks got one each and got falls out of it. But you got to get back to work on your feet. That's usually one stat that the Hawks usually lead at the end of these dual meets is the takedowns, and they've got to get back to work on their feet and get a little better here in these first periods.
Well, Wickman was in on a nice fireman's carry and didn't finish it, and Vasky was in on a nice double, and he didn't finish it. So it's all about finishing right now. They're making good shots, good selection, and good shots, but they've got to go back and finish it. Nice inside stand-up by Vasky. He's going to split the hands of Walker, and we're going back to neutral. Vasky's had a couple of nice shots, and now an eye gouge by Vasky to the right eye of Walker, so he's got to take a short time here on the edge of the mat. Blinks a couple of times, talking to his coach over there. And our referee, Travis Pike, says, hey, come right back to the center. Here we go. Walker sporting a heavily taped left wrist. Vasky right back to work, tapping the head. There's a nice double by Vasky, and he's got Walker sitting on his left hip. And now he's got a score right here. Here's where he ran into trouble last time as Walker rolled him through. Now he's going to finish it. Nice takedown by Bo Vasky as he finished the shot. Now he's going to climb up the body of Walker. He stays in between the legs, climbs up the body, and now he's going to try to attack arms. I'm sure the referee's going to tell him to get off the legs. Our score right now is 3-3. 3-3.
So a takedown for Walker in the first.
That should be 3-2. 3-2.
Take and a reversal?
No, a takedown for Walker, and escape and takedown for Vasky.
Okay.
Now Vasky's got a chicken wing. Well, that's a nice job. He dug that chicken wing on the right side of Walker, and now he's got that inside wrist curl. Let's see if he can run it. He's trying to load up that wing. Walker's doing a nice job blocking him off with his right hand. And we're going to get a warning against Walker, and Vasky's going to try to turn him in, and Walker finds the edge of the mat, and he also gets a stalling call right there for going belly down. And that's a nice job by Bo Vasky. He's up 3-2, and we've got our clock that we're looking at is at a bad angle. We've got 32 seconds left to go, and that's going to be a caution against Walker for starting too soon, starting before the whistle blows. Second period, our dual meet score is 18-4. This is weight class 138. Bo Vasky for the West Delaware Hawks and Seth Walker for the Waverly Sherrock Go Hawks. There's a nice Granby roll by Walker, and he dives back in. He clears his hips. Then he dives in on the leg of Bo Vasky, but Vasky latches onto that ankle and hangs onto it. 16 seconds left to go. You don't want to give up any points here. If you're Bo Vasky, you got to stay heavy on the head, stuff the head, keep that ankle locked up. 7 seconds left to go. We're going to get a stalemate. Nice job by Bo Vasky. Nice Granby roll by Walker. And now Coach Voss over there tells Vasky to ride the other side, Jamie. That's good strategy as you gave up You gave up that Granby roll riding on the right side, and now you switch sides. And there's Walker again with that Granby roll, and that's going to end the period. And it's going to be Walker's choice. Yeah, let's see where Walker decides to go. And Walker's going to go down again. It's 3-2. And Walker's going to choose down. And Coach Voss, Jamie, said you got to control hips if you're Bo Vasky.
And he did a good job of that at the end of that second period, or most of that second period after he got the escape and that takedown. You just got to continue that. This looks like one of them matches that's not going to be terminated earlier because of a fall. So this is one of those first meet matches where you might have to wrestle all 6 minutes and really get tested in this first night.
Well, the way this is going, it might come down to 5 minutes and 58 seconds. Walker showed a couple flurries at the end of period, so if you're Bo Vasky, you got to keep the pressure on right here. Walker's been called for stalling. Vasky gets a little bit high riding. Now he goes to a hard crossface far arm. Now he goes over the head. I was going to try to set up that drive cradle. Vasky got caught over the head of Walker, and now he's in a front headlock situation, and Walker's latching onto the right elbow of Bo Vasky, and Vasky latches onto the right ankle of Seth Walker, and he's trying to cut the corner and step back over, and he does. That's a nice job by the senior from West Delaware. We're under a minute left to go in this match. It's still 3-2, and Vasky's doing a great job riding Walker right now. He steps over the right ankle, hard crossface. He's trying to shove that elbow of Seth Walker and set up a crossface cradle. Let's see if he can lock it up. He's got it locked up. Got to lock that wrist up. Take the head to the knee just a little bit more, Bo Vasky. Lock up that crossface cradle. He's got it locked up. He's taking Walker to his back. And as he took Walker to his back, Walker bridged out of it. Let's see if he can lock it again. No back points. 25 seconds left to go. Vasky goes back to work on that cradle. He steps over that right ankle of Seth Walker. He's shoving the elbow. He's going right back to work on that crossface cradle. Let's see if he can lock it up again. 14 seconds left to go. And he's got that crossface cradle locked up one more time. He kicks the leg free. 8 seconds left to go. Let's see if you can pick up 2 here. I think if you're Bo Vasky, you're just going to hang on here, Jamie, with that crossface cradle. That's a nice solid match, 3-2 win.
You're going to get the win, and that's what's important here is Bo Vasky's going to pick up a win in this match, 3-2.
3-2.
That's a great win.
That's a hard-fought win. I'll tell you what, that's going to help him in some seeding going down the line there. That's a solid match there.
It's going to make our team score now 21-4 in favor of the Hawks as we're moving up the weight class here, and this is going to be a tough one here. I mentioned they start at about 160, 145 the Hawks. And that's where Bryce Steyert, number 2 in the state in Class 3 at 145 pounds for the Go Hawks, and he'll take on Mason Steffen for West Delaware.
And he's a baby bull, Jamie. He's very short, very stocky, very physically built. And Mason Steffen's just kind of the opposite, long and lanky. And there's a snap and spin by Steyert, and he latches around the waist of Steffen, and he's going to pick up a 2-point takedown. Then he's going to cut Steffen loose. He goes right back to work on a hard collar tie and an ankle pick. He's going to pick up that right leg of Steffen, and he's going to lock up a drive cradle on Steffen. And Steffen's doing a nice job blocking off, but Steyert's going to try to hit up that leg cradle, and Steffen does a nice job blocking him off and breaking the hand. So it's just going to be a 2-point takedown. So Steyert goes up now 4-1. So if Mason Steffen can weather the storm here, this would be a huge thing. But you're wrestling the number 2 ranked 145-pounder in Class 3A. So Mason Steffen has his hands full. And again, moving up, weight class 145. The Hawks are still up 21-4, but I'm not sure if that lead is big enough, Jamie, as the Waverly Shell Rock. There's an escape now by Steffen. We got to go back to our feet. There's an ankle pick by Steyert. Boy, he does a nice job with that. And Steffen in on a headlock, and he had Steyert locked up in a headlock and didn't get his hips through. Boy, if he could have got his hips through, I think he might have launched him. I think he caught Steyert by surprise there, and Steyert countered that headlock and now picked up a 2-point takedown off the counter. Now hard crossface cradle by Steyert. He has Steffen locked up. He's going to roll across his back. Now he's got Mason Steffen on his back. This could be a fall right here. That is a tough crossface cradle. Referees are looking close down there. Let's check the time. 1:36, Jamie. I'll tell you what, that was a tough crossface cradle. by Bryce Stewart. Let's take a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back with weight class 152. Stay with us. You're listening to Hold by Hold Wrestling Action right here on Eastern Iowa Sports Station, Mix 94.7 KMCH.
On Mix 94.7 KMCH.
Welcome back to Waterloo, Iowa. The West Delaware Hawks and the Waverly Shell Rock Go Hawks going at it. Our team scored 21-10 in favor of West Delaware as we move up to 152 pounds. Timmy Tutton, a senior from West Delaware, taking on Casey Schulte. Sorry. Schulte. I need to fill out my own papers. Casey Schulte, the senior from Waverly Shell Rock, and we're still on our feet here, just underway here in this match.
Well, there's a very, very nice low single by Tim Tutton. He got in deep, and he actually ended up with his head on the outside instead on the inside, and Schulte's going to counter that as he just basically sagged on Tim Tutton. And I'll tell you what, that was a really, really good low single. But again, you got to keep your head. If you don't get your head back to the inside, you got to cut across to a double. And Tutton did not cut across to a double, and that let Schulte counter that very easily with the go behind. He picked up 2 on the takedown, and he leads now 2-0 with 30 seconds left to go in this first period. And again, first duels of the year for both teams, and these guys are trying to get their wrestling legs back, so to speak. And again, you talked about switching from football and cross country to wrestling. I'll tell you what, it's a whole different mentality. It's a whole different conditioning, and it will take a while. A little bit different than the practice room out in the center of the mat. And our first period is going to end right there with Tim Tutton down 2-0. Two real good seniors going at it at weight class 152. And it's going to be Tutton's choice, and he's going to defer over to Schulte. Schulte, another long, tall, thin wrestler from Waverly Shell Rock. Looks like he could almost be on the basketball court. Looks like maybe 6 foot, 6'1" or so. And it's going to be Tutton's choice. He's going to defer over to Schulte, and Schulte's going to go down. Here comes Schulte right to that tripod, right into a stand-up, and Tutton's going to drop down, pick up a single, back trip Schulte, drive him forward, take him back down, right back to another tripod as Schulte gets right back to his feet. Tutton's going to pin, boom, hard whizzer now by Schulte, and Tutton's going to try to hit him with the drive cradle, and Schulte keeps the whizzer. Now Tim Tutton's got his arm caught right behind the right knee of Schulte, and we're going to get a stalemate. Thank you very much, Mr. Official. That was going nowhere as Schulte could not move and Tutton could not move. So we got a stalemate from our official. Schulte set. Tutton set. There's the whistle. And that tripod stand-up by Schulte, and he's going to split the hands of Tutton and score a 1-point escape. And now it's 3-0 in favor of the senior from Waverly Shell Rock, Casey Schulte. Again, our match started here at weight class 113, so we will end at 106. So we're climbing the ladder here at weight class 152. And there's a nice single by Tutton. He's in deep. Now let's see if he can finish it. Schulte's got his legs caught between Tim Tutton. Tim Tutton has Schulte on his back with a headlock. Let's see if he can pop his hips through. Schulte's on his back, and he's going to roll through the headlock. That should be 2-2 for...
That's illegal.
Oh, he had the arm. He had the arm, then let go of the arm. That's got to be 2-2. That's got to be 2-2. Tim Tutton had the headlock, Jamie. For the takedown, he stopped Schulte's motion, but he did not even get 2-2 out of it. And Coach Voss is going over there to check. He didn't get anything out of that. He had Schulte posted on his back in a headlock for a 2-point takedown and 2 back. And Schulte rolled through as he rolled through. Oh, it didn't give him anything, Jamie, except Schulte picked up 1 point. Well, Tutton got the 2-point takedown. Jamie, no back. And Schulte picks up the 1-point escape. So now our score is 4-2 in favor of Casey Schulte from Waverly Shellrock. Tim Tutton puts a leg in, and he gets way high with the leg. And I know that's not where Coach Voss wanted Tim Tutton. He threw a leg in and a power half Nelson and got his hips. He got way high with it, and all Schulte did was tripod up and dropped Tim Tutton off the front side, pulled his head out, picked up 2 on the reversal. It's now 8-2. Excuse me, it's 6-2 in favor of Casey Schulte. 7 seconds left to go, second period. And it's going to be Tutton's choice to start the third period. I'll be anxious to see where he goes. Schulte is very, very tough on top, controlling the hips of Tutton. And let's see where he decides to go. Going to go neutral. Coach Voss knows his wrestler. And Tim Tutton, it's his choice this period, so he's going to go neutral. Let's see if he can pick up a couple of takedowns here. Maybe a takedown to a scramble for some back points. Staggered stance by Schulte. He's leading with his right leg. Tim Tutton also staggered stance to now a square stance. Both wrestlers working the head. Very, very tough. Heavy on the head. Let's see if Tim Tutton can pick up a shot here. He's got a very, very nice single. And now Schulte goes to a square stance and tries to get a grip on Tim Tutton. Tutton now back and forward, side to side. He's got to set up a shot as the clock is moving. 1.5 minutes left to go in this match. There's a nice double by Tutton. Got his head in between. Now he's going to pop his head out. There's 2 on the takedown. It's now 6-4. Let's see if he can turn him. There's a hard crossface by Tutton. Went to crossface cradle. Missed its mark. Our dual meet score is 21-10. Our match score here is 6-4 in favor of the senior from Waverly Shellrock. Now Tutton trying to lock a cradle. He's got Schulte on his back momentarily, and Schulte rolls out of it. Now front headlock by Tutton. Let's see if he can turn that. Now he tries to roll through, and now he gets caught on his back. Tries the cement mixer, Jamie. All right, that was just, he didn't need to try that right there. He had a solid front headlock. He was locking, all he had to do was lock up that cradle.
Yeah, he did. Come around and get your points at least. Now you're going to end up with nothing, and you're down even farther now.
Well, you gave up 2 and 2. You gave up 4, so now you're instead of 6-4, now you're down 10-4 with 30 seconds left to go in the match. And he just got a little bit impatient right there with that front headlock. I think Schulte, he could have locked that front headlock up and into a drive cradle, but he just got hurried. He just hurried it just a little bit. Coach Voss up saying, hey, get up, move around. You got 20 seconds left. An escape is 1 and a 5-point move. You could get 6 right here very, very quickly, but you got to move. You got 20 seconds. Tim Tutton to his feet. There's the 1. Now he needs to take down to his back. Victory offense right here, 10-5. In deep on a single. Schulte counters it. 8 seconds left to go. And Tim Tutton needs to try something right here, and that's going to do it. 10-5. Tutton in on a double, but it's going to be too little, too late. It's going to be 10-5. Schulte win. Tim Tutton was in that match, Jamie. He just got a little bit impatient. There. Now we're going to see a featured match here. I think we got, I think that is Spencer Deerfield. We'll check it out and see here. Spencer Deerfield.
Oh, yeah.
So we got 1-on-1 going at it. How often do you see this the first meet of the year? I think this is the first time I've ever seen it. You got number 1 and 2A going against number 1 and 3A. And I'll tell you what, Deerfield has a heavily bandaged right knee, Jamie. He's leading with that right knee. And I'm not sure. There's a hard double by Deerfield, and he's in deep. And he catches Voss kind of flat-footed. There's a 2-point takedown. That was a double leg takedown right there, Jamie. That was a textbook as he got in deep and exploded. And one thing he did not do is he didn't sit with it on the mat. He got in and got his hips up. And, boy, he lifted that up right away, and Voss had no chance to counter that. Now chicken wing on the left side of Voss. And Voss going to try to find the edge of the mat. Very good job by Jake Voss. Finds the edge. Deerfield a heavily taped right knee. And leads early 2-0. featured match right here at 160. You got number 1 and number 1 going at it. Jake Voss, nice stand up, pops his hips. Deerfield drops in on a single. And Voss stuffs the head, sags, laces down, splits the grip of Deerfield, and Deerfield's going to cut him loose. It's going to be a 1-0 or a one-point escape for Voss. Voss going to have to lower his level here just a little bit. Our dual meet score is 21-13. West Delaware still in the lead here precariously, as Waverly Shell Rock will come to the meat of their lineup here pretty quickly. 49 seconds left to go, 2-1. Deerfield takes a peek at the clock. Voss goes to a staggered stance. Deerfield stays in that square stance, and Voss goes to work on the head. Sweep single attempt by Deerfield, and Voss finds the edge of the mat one more time, right in the laps of the Go Hawk cheerleaders, and they've got to scatter. Back to the center of the mat we go. Tell you what, Deerfield is very good on a reshot. Voss tries to work that throw by. Deerfield's not going to tie up with him. There's a collar tie by Deerfield, a retie by Voss, and Voss snaps the hands down. Well, you don't want to give up 2 right here if you're Jake Voss. You'd like to get to. There's Deerfield in on that double again. Switches over to a single, and he catches Voss again sitting on his backside, and Voss has to bail out for a 2-point takedown, and there's 9 seconds left to go in this first period, and Deerfield's going to pick up 2 shots on the doubles, 2 solid doubles by Deerfield as he catches Voss flat-footed. So Jake not real happy about that, and it's going to be Deerfield's choice. He's probably going to defer over to Voss, and Voss has to go down to try to close the gap here. Jake Voss very good underneath. Deerfield very good on his feet. So we'll see if Deerfield tries to ride just a little bit. Let's see if Voss tries to get back to his feet here. And there's a hard chop by Deerfield. Tight waist with the right. Chop with the left, trying to set up a chicken wing on the left side of Jake Voss. And Voss posting with the right arm. Deerfield trying to load up that chicken wing. And Deerfield sitting over the left leg of Jake Voss. Voss trying to get up to his base. A referee takes a peek, and I think he's telling both wrestlers to get after it here. 4-1's our score. We're going to get a warning against Voss. I tell you what, Jamie, Deerfield is riding parallel. Deerfield is not getting off the hips of Voss. Now he gets off the hips, and that lets Jake Voss get to his feet for a 1-point escape and a stand-up. And now it's 4-2, 1:14 left to go. Jake Voss has to find a shot that's going to work here against Spencer Deerfield. Voss has not taken a shot yet. Deerfield's taken a shot. Deerfield latches onto Voss once again, and Voss is going to find the edge of the mat, and they're going to have to circle back in. Deerfield again, these 2 wrestlers built very similar. There's a low single attempt by Voss, reshot by Deerfield, and boy, he's got in deep. Boy, you just don't see that very often. Voss tried that low shot, couldn't grab it, and then Deerfield, 3rd takedown. And Deerfield on a reshot, deep on the hips of Voss, and Voss had nowhere to go but to his backside, and he had to bail out of that because you were going right to your back.
I think right now
here,
Jake's
35 seconds left to go. Second period, our score is 6-2 in favor of top-ranked Spencer Deerfield from Waverly Shell Rock. Right now, he's been very, very tough on his feet. Voss with 2 escapes. Deerfield with 3 takedowns. It's going to be Deerfield's choice to start the 3rd period. Deerfield sitting over the hips of Voss once again. Voss trying to get his hips up. And Deerfield working that chicken wing. He's got a tight waist chicken wing. He's going to try to tilt Voss. 7 seconds left to go in the 2nd period. And we're going to go to the 3rd period with Jake Voss needing 4 points to tie this thing up. That's going to be Deerfield's choice. Deerfield takes a look over to the coaching staff. Waverly Shell Rock with a very, very good coaching staff also. Guys that have been around quite a while. Jake Voss is tough on top, Jamie. I'm impressed with Deerfield so far. There's not too many people that have taken Jake Voss down 3 times like that.
No, there really isn't. Jake's got to try to work on top. He's good on top, and usually he's real good on his feet, and we've seen that in the last couple of years from Jake Voss. But I tell you what, Deerfield's a good wrestler, and these 2 could meet up a couple, maybe next weekend at the Extravaganza, or maybe at the Battle of Waterloo. So this might not be the last time we see these 2 wrestle.
Voss has been warned for stalling. There's a nice lift by Voss and dumps Deerfield back down to the mat. Deerfield came to a nice stand-up. Deerfield doing a nice job getting his hips up. Voss doing a nice job keeping his weight on the hands of Deerfield. Now Voss goes to an inside wrist on the right side of Deerfield. He's going to try to roll it out. Deerfield now backs over that wrist. That could be stalling on Deerfield. He's not moving. He's just posting with his left arm. Voss trying to pull that inside wrist out. And now he's got that inside wrist close to being pulled out to a bar. And now he's got it pulled out. Let's see what he can do with it. And Deerfield gets it back and tucks it underneath. Voss again pulling that inside wrist out, trying to work it. Now we're going to get warning against Deerfield. Thank you very, very much. Good call. As Voss is out around the head of Deerfield, working that right shoulder. And now he's got to tuck himself back as Deerfield gets his base up. Voss has to tuck himself back behind. Deerfield going back to his feet to a stand-up. Voss takes a peek at the clock, 38 seconds left. Good, nice job by Jake Voss. Nice job of riding by Jake Voss. Deerfield gets up a little bit slow. He's real slow going back to the center of the mat. Voss hustles back to the center of the mat, bouncing back and forth on his feet. Now he switches sides. That's a real quick stand-up by Deerfield. Voss has got a lift, and now he drives Deerfield back down to the mat. Hard chop, hard tight waist. Now tight waist with a half Nelson is Voss, and Deerfield goes to all fours. 22 seconds left to go. Again, number 1 Voss in 2A, number 1 Deerfield in 3A. And tough match, a good match, great match. Deerfield back to his feet. He's going to split the hands of Voss. Voss is going to try to lift, and off the edge of the mat they go. 8 seconds left. The score is 6-2 in favor of top-ranked Spencer Deerfield. Again, 3 takedowns. 3 takedowns by Deerfield, and 2 escapes by Voss. Again, this is solid, Jamie, this is a good match for Jake Voss. There's a stand-up by Deerfield, and Voss drops in on a single. This is a good match for Jake Voss. This is a test right now to see where you're at. We're not sure if Voss is going to stay at 160 pounds through the course of the season. You never know. But this is a great match right here. Again, 2 quality wrestlers. And there's a stand-up by Deerfield, and Voss latches around the waist, picks him up, dumps him one more time. 6-2 win by Deerfield. Hard-fought win. Again, 3 nice takedowns. Let's take another short timeout. We'll come back to weight class 170 and Brent Lammer. Stay with us. We got more action for you right here on Eastern Iowa Sports Station, Mix 94.7 KMCH. Hey, good evening, wrestling fans. Welcome back. Meet number 1 of this 2013 season, and we've got a good one going for you right here. We're at West Waterloo. If you're just joining us, maybe you've been out and about in the barn doing some chores, you just got us tuned in. We've got a good one for you. West Delaware Hawks taking on number 3 ranked in Class 3A, the Waverly Shell Rock Go Hawks. And the West Delaware Hawks are still holding on to a 21-16 lead. I'll tell you what, we're at weight class 170, and Brett Lammers is taking on number 4 ranked Corey Abernathy. And right now Abernathy has Lammers locked up in a drive cradle, and he's got it in deep, and Lammers is trying to counter that drive cradle. Lammers is doing a nice job countering the drive cradle. Let's see if he can break the grip of Abernathy, as he got himself squared back up to Abernathy. Abernathy still got the cradle locked up, but his lock went down to the knee instead up under the chin, so Lammers could find himself out of here. Lammers now latching on to the left leg of Abernathy to keep from being turned over. And Abernathy's trying to scoop the right leg of Brett Lammers, the very fine quarterback for the West Delaware Hawk football team. Brett Lammers now he's going to roll through. No back points for Abernathy. Abernathy's trying to load Lammers up with that drive cradle. Now he's going to get 2 out of it. 11 seconds left to go. Not going to get the fall, I don't think. I don't know, he's trying to tighten that up, but he's going to get 3 out of it. And Lammers is going to go the second period down 5-0. 5-0. Another check. Boy, you got the best of West Delaware taking on the best of Waverly Shell Rock right here. And so far it's been the Waverly Shell Rock getting the best of the West Delaware Hawks in this young season. I'll tell you what, you get a loss. Looks like, Jamie, we're going to go on both mats now. We're going to bump up to weight class 182, and Coy Russell Corey Russell is going to take on Isaac Miller, I believe. Miller is ranked number 2. So we'll see what's happening here. We're going to go on both mats, so we'll try to spy both mats as all the JV matches are now over. Well, there's a nice tilt by Lammers. He got a 1,001 count. Let's see if we can keep him there. He's got a roll through. Lammers is trying to load Abernathy, Abernathy back up. And he's got a 1,001 count one more time. And boy, he's got to get his hips up on top. He loses the arm. And let's see if Abernathy's trying to come out the back door on Lammers. And Lammers is trying to crowd Abernathy. And Abernathy's going to come out the back door for a 2-point reversal. Boy, that went from getting 2 to giving up 2. And we're going to get a stalemate back there as these wrestlers are tied in a knot. Now that was a knot. They did give Abernathy 2 on the reversal. So now the score is 7-0 in favor of the senior from Waverly Shellrock. Waverly Shellrock's got 8 seniors, I believe, in their starting lineup. And over on the other mat, we've got the 182-pounders. The outstanding tailback from West Delaware, Corey Russell, is going to take on a very, very good Isaac Miller. And Isaac Miller is ranked number 2 in Class 3A. So he will have his hands full, Corey Russell. So we'll try to spy both matches here. 33 seconds left to go, second period. Lammers is down 7-2 to Corey Abernathy. And Isaac Miller and Corey Russell are going to go at it here. Are going to go at it on the mat to our left. 2 mats down on the gym floor. And both wrestlers in action. Abernathy with another cradle locked up on Lammers. And he's got the cradle in deep. Lammers is trying to hook a leg. He's trying to get his head out, try to get his arm out, and trying to hook a leg on Abernathy. And he's not going to get turned over. That's a nice job by the junior from West Delaware. And let's see where he decides to go. Yeah, he's going to go back down. Thought he might try to go back to his feet. But Lammers is going to go down for the third period. Over on the mat to our left, mat number 1, it is still 0-0 with 1 minute left to go in the first period. Corey Russell, very quick, very strong. He's in deep on a single. He's going to try to cut across to a double. Let's see if he can finish it. Boy, he just reached down and snatched that single, and he picked up a 2-point takedown. I don't know if that's Isaac Miller. Waverly's got an open spot at 220, so I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they're going to bump Miller up to 92 and Foy up to 220. So Corey Russell is up 2-0 right here. Abernathy's got another cradle locked up on Lammers. Again, West Delaware still hanging on to a 21-16 dual meet lead. Lammers is going to try to roll through that cradle. I'll tell you what, it ends up on his back, and he's going to give up 2 near fall. Boy, he rolled through on the cradle, and he had Abernathy stop for just a second, but Abernathy kicked his leg through, and Lammers rolled back to his back. Lammers going to his back one more time with that drive cradle, and I can see Coach Voss making some comments over there, and that's going to be something they're going to have to go back to work in the practice room, working that hand control. Long switch. That is Isaac Miller over there. That's a long switch for a 2-point reversal. Tied up now. It's 3-2. Russell must have had a locked hands penalty point there. 3 near fall for Abernathy. It's now 10-0. Major decision working here. And there's a hard Turk. Hard Turk by Abernathy. Crossface to the left shoulder, the right shoulder of Brent Lammers, and he's going to pick up another 2-point, another 3-point near fall. Got to be careful here now. He's working on a technical fall. It's Corey Abernathy. And we can see why he's ranked number 4 in 3A. He is just relentless up on top with good hand control, good pinning combinations. Boy, he's a cradle machine. 10 seconds left to go in the match. And Abernathy is not going to pin Brent Lammers, but he's going to pick up 3. It's going to be 13-0 major, Jamie. 13-0 major decisions. Corey Abernathy ranked number 4 in 3A. We can see why. That makes the score now 21-20, still in favor of the West Delaware Hawks. And down on mat number 1, it's still 3-2. Corey Russell spot filling in last year, getting some good varsity experience. And now this weight class is going to be all his own this year. Tries to shoot a single, and now front headlock by Miller. We got Scott Taylor coming up at weight class 195. Looks like he'll be taking on Thomas Foy. And Foy is ranked number 6. So Miller with the 2-point takedown now on Russell. Russell with the roll on Miller. He's got to kick his leg free and hip heist, and he would have a 2-point reversal and back points. And he's not going to be able to kick his leg free. Boy, that was a nice job. Nice movement underneath by the sophomore from West Delaware. Scott Taylor. See if all that work last year with Jason Goebel pays dividends here, Jamie, for Scott Taylor. 21-20. The red-hot West Delaware Hawks came out winning the first 4 matches, 3 by fall. But it's been pretty much Waverly Shell Rock after that point. Miller now has Russell on his back. There's going to be a fall. 3 minutes and 44 seconds. 3:44. Miller will win by a fall over the sophomore from West Delaware. So Waverly will take its first lead. Be 26-21. I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with Corey Russell, Jamie. Nice shots. Got him deep on some shots. And it'll come. That will come. Got a sophomore in that lineup wrestling very, very good, Isaac Miller. And those shots will come. Those shots will pay off. All right. Scott Taylor. Still 0-0. 45 seconds left to go. There's a hard underhook. Taylor does a nice job. Scott does a nice job getting out of that underhook of Thomas Foy. Again, Waverly in their starting lineup here is showing about 8 seniors. So,
and we are going to have a match at 220 with Will Wenger.
I
believe it's going to be Joe Weber up, perhaps.
Yeah, you would figure they wouldn't leave it open there. So, all right, back to action we go. We're going to get stalling call on Scott Taylor as he was backing up. 15 seconds left to go. Will Wenger, 2 undersized 220-pounders down on mat number 1. Will Wenger not very big at all for 220. And Joe Weber, he's listed as a 195-pounder, so very, very quick. Will Wenger has to counter that double shot, and he does. Nice job off the edge of the mat. Well, first period over in front of us. Scott Taylor comes out of it with a stalling call, and it's going to be Foy's choice. He's going to defer over to Taylor. Taylor will choose down. Nice stand-up by Scott Taylor. Front trip by Foy. Front trip by Foy. So what, there's Will Wenger with a snap and a spin. Picked up a 2-point takedown on Weber. I tell you what, had Weber on his back. Weber's trying to roll through. Will Wenger's going to try to stack him up. Will Wenger's got a chicken wing on the right and a half Nelson on the left. And Weber's now going to pick up a 2-point reversal. So it's 2-2. That was a good series of movements by Will Wenger. And Jamie, we know Will Wenger can roll, and I think the roly-polier the match, the better Will Wenger likes it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, there's Joe Weber with the power half Nelson. He's got a cross body right in on Will Wenger right now. Slapped the power half Nelson in on Will Wenger. And Will Wenger has got to do some work to get out of that. He kicks that leg free and gets back to his feet. It's 2-2, a takedown by Wenger and a reversal by Weber. Stand up now by Wenger, back trip by Weber. And Weber's trying to put the cross body right in on Wenger. Wenger's trying to catch that. We're going to get potentially dangerous. Now 1-point escape by Taylor, and Foy drops in on a single, and he's going to pick up a 2-point takedown. So Thomas Foy will go up 2-1 with 58 seconds left to go in the second period. 11 seconds left to go. In period 1, Will Winger and Joe Weber going at it. Again, Weber likes that crossbody ride. He's going to try to stretch Will Winger out. And that's going to be it for the period, no back points. Will Winger's got to be careful, pay attention to the crossbody ride in the legs. And Scott Taylor's got to score 1 here to tie this thing up. 44 seconds left to go. Scott Taylor at 195, Will Winger at 220. Tell you what, Waverly Shell Rock took a 26-20 lead, and there's the fall. There's a stack by Thomas Foy, a ball and chain stack. 330. Thomas Foy with a fall and 330 over Scott Taylor. Had that ball and chain, and Taylor tried to kick out of it, and Foy just loaded him right up, and that did him in. Will Winger's got a half Nelson in on Joe Weber. Yes. Will Winger's got a half Nelson in on Joe Weber again. If he could break him down, Weber's got his knees posted. And Winger now switches off to an inside wrist on Weber. He's going to try to pull that out to try to load that up. Then goes right back to work with a half Nelson. Now chicken wing by Will Winger. He's going to drive Weber over. And once again, Weber gets out of it. Half Nelson now by Winger. Chicken wing by Winger. He's got it both. He's got it locked up on the edge of the mat. 1 minute left to go. Will Winger doing a nice job. Out in front of us, we have a highly ranked Waverly Shell Rock wrestler in Caleb Stack. He's ranked number 4 at 220. Okay, we got Richard Heveron from West Delaware. And Jamie, he was not out last year. So tough opener for him. Unknown commodity filling that singlet for West Delaware right here, but he'll be heavily tested. Short sit out by Weber, and Winger does a nice job with the snapback. And Weber has to cover up. Power half Nelson again by Winger. Winger now tries some legs. He's going to try to latch that power half Nelson up on Weber. And Weber's doing a nice job countering. Winger doing a nice job keeping his weight on top of Weber. Now Winger with the cradle locked up there, stalling on Weber. 1 point for Winger. And there's a side roll attempt by Weber. And he's going to pick up the 2-point reversal off of it as Weber gets called for stalling. So Winger picks up a point. It's 4-3 now. 7 seconds left to go. 32-21 in favor of the Go-Hawks. There's an outside single by Stack. He's got the right leg of Heveron picked up, and he's going to back trip Heveron. Jamie, did Richard Heveron play football? Yeah, he looks like he's got a football player's body there, and he could work into this heavyweight role for the West Delaware Hawks. Stack tries to slap a half Nelson on Heveron. Heveron does a nice job pulling it free. Stand up now by Will Winger, and a back trip by Joe Weber. And now Weber, here comes a cross body ride by Weber. Weber gets a little bit high. Let's see if Will Winger can pull his head out the backside. Winger now's got a tripod up. Weber's doing a nice job staying behind the arms. Winger's trying to get up, tripod up. He's going to roll Weber through. Winger's got Weber on his back. He's going to pick up 2 and 2. Now a power half Nelson by Winger. Let's see if he can drive that. He scoops the arm of Weber. He's got Weber on his back. There's the fall. There's the fall by... That's a nice job. Nice job, Jamie, by Will Winger. He picks up the fall in 4 minutes and 40 seconds over a very, very good Joe Weber from Waverly Shell Rock. Tell you what, he just kept being patient. And I'll tell you, Weber got high with the legs, and Winger threw him to his back and got the fall. That's what Will Winger does. And I think we're going to get a forfeit here at 106. West Delaware does not have a 106-pounder as of yet. 32-21 is our dual meet score. It's 3-0 in favor of Caleb Stack. Stack with a takedown and an escape.
32-27 after that fall.
Yes, 32-27 after that fall by Will Winger. All right, we're going to get a forfeit for Waverly at 106. And now this Caleb Stack, he drops back in on a single on Richard Heverin. Heverin trying to put a whizzer in on Stack. Stack's going to back trip him and pick up another takedown. He will now go up 5-0. We got 6 listed up on the board. It should have been an escape. Maybe they should have been an escape and a takedown. It's 6-0, 50 seconds left to go. Now butcher by Stack. He's got that right arm of Heverin trapped. Heverin tries to roll through. Stack catches him. Now Stack's going to go to a headlock finish here. And Heverin's going to try to roll out of it. I tell you what, this is tough right here. Caleb Stack in a headlock finish. There's the fall. In 3 minutes and 32 seconds. 3:32, Caleb Stack will win by a fall. Let's take a short timeout right here. And then Jamie will figure the stats up, and we'll be right back as we close this first duel down. Stay with us. You won't want to miss duel number 2. We've got more action for you in the first duel of the year right here at West Waterloo. You're listening to Hold by Hold action on Eastern Iowa Sports Station, Mix 94.7 KMCH.
Guys, and you're listening to Mix 94.7 KMCH Manchester.
And you are listening to West Delaware Wrestling right here on Mix 94.7. Jamie Vansky, Roger Reed back with you here from Waterloo West High School. And the Hawks, not a good first duel for them as they fall to the Waverly Shell Rock Go Hawks, 44-27, the final score in this one here. You know what, we knew coming in the Go Hawks were going to be tough. They're ranked 3rd in Class 3A, and they proved why right there in that first duel.
Well, you're exactly right, Jamie. They flexed their muscles here a little bit. We knew they would be tough coming in with 8 or 9 or 10 seniors in the lineup. And, you know, talking to Coach Voss, he knew this team is going to be a work in progress. What they're doing right now is important. Yes, it is. But it's going to be more important come the end of January and February. So, you know, their sights, they're working on long range. Getting better each week. And then when January and February gets here, you know, that's when you want to be at your best. So this is a good test, a good opener, a good test to see where you're at. You've had 2 weeks of practice in the room to see where you're at, and then to also make note on what you have left to do. So as we can see from tonight, there's a lot of work, and Coach Voss taking good notes, taking some, recording some notes. So they've got plenty of things that they have to work on, and they'll go back to the practice room after this second duel. They'll go back to the practice room and get ready for Saturday. You got a couple of days to practice, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you've got to turn it on again on Saturday, and we'll talk about that later. But some good things, but yet a lot of things to work on.
Yeah, they really do, and you know that's not the way the Hawks wanted to start, but it's a long season. The next 3 months will fly by here for the Hawks, and I'm sure we'll see this team down the road. It might be a little different outcome.
You're exactly right. Well, here's how we started. Weight class 113, top-ranked Patrick Woods for West Delaware, making short work of Derek Wyatt, winning by a fall in 13 seconds, making the score 6-0 in favor of the West Delaware Hawks. Weight class 120, Logan Riley taking on Logan Derifield. He's a sophomore from Waverly Shell Rock, and Riley also winning by a fall in 1:47 of the first period, making the team score 12-0. Weight class 126, number 8 ranked Sam Phillips in Class 2A with an easy takedown and then a nice cradle on Isaiah Kaler, winning by a fall in 47 seconds, making the score 18-0. Then at weight class 132, Waverly Shell Rock gets on the board Justin Ryert, the senior, with 2 takedowns and some back points, winning by 12-0, major decision over Connor Wickman, making the score 18-4. Weight class 138 saw Bo Vasky, the senior from West Delaware, taking on Seth Walker, the sophomore. This was a great match for Vasky, winning a close one 3-2, giving the Hawks 3 more points, making the score 21-4. And then Waverly Shell Rock kind of went on a roll here. We knew they would be strong in the middle. And weight class 145, number 2 ranked Bryce Steyert, a couple of takedowns and winning by a fall over Mason Steffen in 136, making the score 21-10. Weight class 152, this match could have went either way, Jamie. Saw Tim Tutton get a little bit impatient with a couple of things, and he lost that match 10-5 to Casey Schulte, making the score 21-13. Weight class 160, the featured match, top-ranked Jake Voss in Class 2A against top-ranked Spencer Deerfield in 3A. It was Spencer Deerfield with 3 takedowns to Voss's 2 escapes. Deerfield winning 6-2, making the score now 21-16, still in favor of the West Delaware Hawks. Weight class 170, Brent Lammers taking on number 4, Corey Abernathy, the senior from Waverly Shell Rock. Abernathy was a cradle machine. He racked up 13 points en route to a major decision over Lammers 13-0, making the score 21-20. Now weight class 182, Corey Russell, the sophomore from West Delaware, taking on number 2, Isaac Miller from Waverly Shell Rock, losing by a fall in 3:44. Interestingly enough, at the score at the time of that fall, it was only 3-2 in favor of Miller. So Russell was hanging with Miller into the second period. But again, Russell finding himself on his back and Miller knowing what to do there, winning by a fall. And Waverly Shell Rock takes its first lead, 26-21. Weight class 195, Scott Taylor finding the going a little bit tough against Thomas Foy. Foy winning by a fall in 3:30. Used that ball and chain to stack Taylor up. That put the Hawks up, the Go Hawks up 32-21. Weight class 220, Will Winger doing a very, very nice job over the sophomore Joe Weber from Waverly Shell Rock. Winger winning by a fall in 4:40. Momentarily, the gap was cut to 5 points, 32-27. Then at weight class 285, Richard Hevern, his first-year wrestler at 285 for West Delaware, taking on number 4 ranked Caleb Stack. Stack winning by a fall in 3:32, making the score 38-27. And then West Delaware not filling weight class 106 as of yet. Austin Yant winning by a 4-foot, making the final team score 44-27 in favor of the Go Hawks. West Delaware winning 5 matches. Waverly Shell Rock winning 9. Major decisions, West Delaware 0, Waverly Shell Rock 2. Pins, here's a good thing, Jamie. The pins, it was 4-4. West Delaware with 4 pins, Waverly Shell Rock with 4 pins. No technical falls on the night. And on the night, West Delaware only 7 takedowns to Waverly Shell Rock's 14. So Waverly doubled up their work on their feet. So that'll be something that the West Delaware Hawks will go back to the room, work on takedowns. And again, Connor Wickman in on a couple shots, didn't finish them. Tim Tutton with opportunity for a couple takedown shots, and those will come back with a lot of work, a lot of practice. Those will come back hopefully in the West Delaware Hawks side as we proceed in this next duel.
Absolutely, and that's what they're going to have to do as they take on Waterloo West in just a little bit. The Wahawks warming up here, so we will take a short break and get you ready for the start of that duel, and coming up in about 5 or 10 minutes here for the Hawks and the Wahawks from Waterloo West. So we'll take a short break and come back. You're listening to West Delaware Wrestling on Mix 94.7 KMCH.